Hi, I'm Barb Nangle. I'm the founder of Higher Power Coaching and Consulting. I want to welcome you to my podcast, Fragmented to Whole: Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery. On this podcast, I share my experience, strength, and hope from recovery. I don't support or endorse any particular 12-step recovery fellowship, and I don't claim to speak for any of them either. My hope is that you will find my words helpful in some way, whether you're in recovery or not. This is episode 108. How to increase your integrity by getting clear on your intentions. Your intentions should matter to you because they impact your integrity, but they don't matter to others if the impact of your behavior on them is negative. I'll start by talking about how and why your intentions should matter to you, and then go into why they don't matter to others. Let's say you're doing something because you want someone to like you versus doing the same exact thing because you want to be kind and good. The impact on your integrity will differ based on your intent. If you're running errands, for example, for someone because you want them to like you, that shatters your integrity because you're trying to manipulate them. Your intention is to get them to think a certain thing about you. Your intention is not to be kind and good. You may tell yourself that you're just trying to be nice, which is what I used to tell myself and others, but that's not what's going on. It was, for me, about manipulating someone's opinion of me. Now, if you run errands for someone and your intention is to be good and kind, that maintains or possibly even increases your integrity, your wholeness. That's because you're living your life according to spiritual principles like goodness and kindness. For those of us in recovery, step 12 tells us we practice these principles in all our affairs. That means we make every attempt to live by the spiritual principles of the 12-step recovery program. And that's why we say practice. We strive towards them. We don't necessarily hit the mark every time, but that's what our intention is. Step 12 also says we practice these principles in all our affairs, not just some of our affairs. Now, in terms of intentions regarding other people, intentions don't matter to others if the impact of your behavior is negative. They don't give a shit if you didn't mean anything by it, if what you did or said impacted them negatively. For example, if you're white and you ask a dark-skinned person, "Where are you from?" or "What are you?" they don't give a shit what your intention was, because the effect is making them feel alienated. The implication is that they're not from here because they're not white. Your intention may have been to spark conversation with them or to learn a little bit more about them, but the impact is they feel alienated. And you made them feel like they don't belong. So they don't give a shit about your intentions. Now, this is really important to understand. A lot of people, especially people who are codependent, say things like, "I was only trying to help," to explain away bad behavior. As a former codependent myself, I can look back at my behavior back then and see that what I meant when I said things like that was, you should give me a pass no matter what I do and no matter what the impact is, because my intentions were pure. What was really going on is that I was trying to be helpful so that I could control the situation. I wanted things to come out the way I wanted them to, which in most cases was that I wanted people to like me or think I was kind or something. So I said my intention was pure. That is, that it was to be nice or helpful. But in fact, my intention was to manipulate people into liking me. Not good. And again, I didn't even really realize I was doing that back then. Other people don't care about your intentions, but you should care about your intentions. One of the things that happened for me in recovery was that I got a lot more clarity about what my intentions were in the past. I was simply not aware that I was doing things so that people would like me until I got into recovery. I can look back now at my life before recovery and say, here's what I was doing, here's what I was thinking, and here's what my intentions were. But I couldn't see any of that at the time that it was happening. That's how thick the denial is when we come into recovery. And perhaps the same is true for you. The thing about other people is they can't see your intentions. They can only see your behavior. Even if you tell them your intentions, what they see is your behavior. So if your intent is to be good or kind, they will know that by the effect of your behavior. So how do you get clear about your intentions? When it comes to your interactions with others, if you have any question at all about how your behavior might be received, perhaps check it out with someone else before you go through with that behavior. Tell them what you intend to do and ask if that sounds like a good idea to them. Another thing that's helped me to be more pure in my intentions is waiting to be asked for help or asking if the person wants help. By waiting to be asked for help or asking if someone wants help, I'm allowing them their own autonomy. I'm being respectful and not acting like I know what's best for others. And that is something that will either maintain my integrity or perhaps improve my integrity. The other thing you can do is to try to think from the other person's perspective. Do the best you can to put yourself in the other person's shoes, so that you can imagine how they might receive the thing you want to say or do. When it comes to your intentions for yourself, you might have to do some real soul searching. The way that I figured out that I was doing things to get people to like me rather than doing them because I was nice was having somebody in recovery ask me, why are you doing the thing? What are your motives? Are you doing it so they'll like you? Now, she said this to me because I couldn't understand the difference between helpful behavior and rescuing behavior. When she asked me why I was doing stuff to help people, my initial response was that I was not doing it to get people to like me. But once I'd heard that question, I couldn't help but start really examining my behavior and asking myself what my motives were. And that was really, really helpful. That has actually turned into one of the most important questions I ask myself. When I'm trying to decide what the right thing to do is, I ask myself, what are my motives or my intentions here? The other question I ask myself when I'm trying to decide whether something is the right thing to do is, I ask, is this serving me? And when I say serving me, I mean, is this serving my highest good? Now, perhaps for you, just hearing this podcast and having me ask you this question, what are your intentions? What are your motives? Will spark you to start paying more attention to your behavior, so you can really look at why you're doing what you're doing. Your integrity matters, my darlings. You can't be whole without integrity. Integrity is wholeness. And I don't know about you, but I want wholeness. That is it for today. Remember, it's never too late to recover. Healing is possible, and no one is beyond hope. If you are not already following me on Instagram, I hope you will. I'm at Higher Power Coaching, and I hope you will also send me a DM because I'd love to hear from you. Talk to you next week. That's it for today. Please share this episode with anyone who might find it helpful. If you like what you've heard here, you might be interested in private coaching with me. If that sounds like you, then head on over to barbchat.net, or you can get on my calendar for a free 20-minute consultation to help you make lasting changes in your life, like I've made deep, lasting changes in my life. My ideal client is someone who is ripe for change, but I'll coach anyone who wants to be happy, joyous, and free. So if that's you, then go to barbchat.net and get on my calendar. I'd love to chat with you. Please like and subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast outlet. This helps other people find me. Thanks for listening.